Welcome to Manny's Power Hour, guys. Got a special guest in the building. Call you Headshock. I know you as Adam Trauber. You want to introduce yourself to the people?
Yo, what's up? Obviously, I am known as Headshock on all gaming platforms, but most of my friends know me best as Adam, or Adam Trauber if you like to know. But anyways, here I am.
So I want to thank you for coming on and agreeing to be interviewed. I appreciate anybody who takes the time to do that. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Yeah, of course, no problem. I appreciate the opportunity. I really do.
Yeah. So most of my interviews are just kind of getting to know you, your gaming history, why you're so passionate about gaming, kind of asking you some prevalent questions of what's going on in gaming.
Right.
So this is really about you. So talk as little or as much as you want.
Okay.
So we'll start with your gaming history, kind of how I start with everyone else. So, kind of tell me, what was the first console you had?
The first console I ever owned was a Super Nintendo. I'll start with Super Mario Brothers.
Okay, Super Mario Brothers. Any other favorite games from Super Nintendo?
Paperboy was a classic that I played a lot, but
Okay.
it was mostly for me. It was really just Mario every day, every night. Every time I would go to my grandparents' house, my grandfather had it, and we would just play for hours. Me and my twin, it was awesome.
Uh, so after Super Nintendo, what console did you move to?
After Nintendo, I think it was PlayStation 1, I believe, and I played. I don't even really remember that because PlayStation 1 was like it was coming out when I was still a kid playing outside a lot, and to me it didn't really pull me in like the Super Nintendo did. Super Nintendo, I don't know, there was just something about it, the simplicity of the game itself that I don't know, I got obsessed with at a very young age.
Okay, okay. Any memorable games from that you want to shout out?
From PlayStation,
Yeah.
no. I feel like the most memorable games after that were, I believe, the handheld units, the Game Boys. And obviously you see the hat. I'm a Pokemon fan,
Right.
so all the original Pokemon games. I played those day in day out. Every single day. Me and my brother were trading with each other. We had the crazy link cables, and we were battling, and it was just a fun little journey. We bounced around from the original three games, which was red, blue, and then the limited yellow version, which you had a little Pikachu behind you,
Right.
and then became my obsession with Pikachu. So Pikachu is my favorite Pokemon. A lot of people hate on that, but Pikachu is my favorite.
Is Ash your favorite trainer?
Absolutely, come on. What
Ash
is
is a
Ash without Pikachu? What is Pikachu without Ash?
You know Ash is a terrible trainer, right?
He is absolutely a favorite trainer. I mean, day one, Pikachu's like, "Nah, no Pokeball for me. I'm sorry." But he's like, "Okay, whatever."
Yeah. So fell in love with Pokemon. Started playing more Game Boy games. Did you have a color, SP, like all of them?
Oh yeah, we went through all of them. So it started with the Game Boy Color. You
Hmm.
gotta get the right lighting. If you're driving at night, sitting in the back seat, you gotta wait till the street light hits it. Oh, okay, we got a second. And then it moved into the I think it was the Advanced, and it
Hmm.
came with the little worm light that
Yeah.
you could hide under your blanket at night when you're supposed to be going to bed for school and still play for hours on end. I wake up tired.
Hmm.
I play Pokemon all night. I'm not mad about it.
So we got the Game Boy games. We got Pokemon. Where did you go after Game Boy?
After Game Boy was then the GameCube, so I kind of stuck with that Nintendo trend for a while. Nintendo is, I
Okay.
don't know, it was huge to my childhood.
Okay. So GameCube, I have some fond game memories of GameCube that I'll share. But why don't you tell me some of your fond games on GameCube?
Obviously, Pokemon Stadium was
Fire,
phenomenal.
fire.
And then you got Super Mario Sunshine, you got Smash Bros, you got just there's endless games, the Zelda games. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a great console. I mean, you could even play your Game Boy Advance games on that, so that was also really cool for me. So
Yeah. I had one game, and I never had a GameCube. My aunt actually had a game. Who's only like a year older than me. Had a GameCube, and one of my cousins, and I can't remember the name of this game. I think it's like Average Joe or Adventure Joe or something like that. It's something with Joe.
Average Joe, yeah.
Yeah, Average Joe, and that was a great game.
That was a pretty cool game. The graphics were awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one for sure. Yeah, GameCube just has so many fire. Fire games.
GameCube was classic. Just to play for hours. It really didn't matter. I remember when Smash Bros came out, it was kind of like, let's get all the characters unlocked. We got to get all of them. You know. And I remember when we first got, I think it was Mewtwo. You had to play for a certain amount of hours to even get the event to fight him to unlock him. And we had played all night long, but. We ended up having to go to bed for school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we played from the time we got out of school till like probably 10, 11 o'clock at night, and that was late. So we ended up keeping the GameCube on, and we went to bed, and we get up for school in the morning, and we turn that TV on, and the event pops up, and we're like, you know, there's three of us, one of us have to beat this. I'm like, just give me the sticks. Give me the sticks. I'll never forget that. Me and my brother and my cousin sitting there just so excited to fight Mewtwo and unlock him as a character. That was the last character we needed to.
Yeah, so you kind of sparked some topics that I'll get into, and we'll kind of divert a little bit and get back into your story. So you're talking about the struggles of having to turn to not turn your console off, because that used to be a thing. Because, you know, I know my mom wasn't buying me any like Rumble packs or save memory cards or anything like that. So like,
right.
Talk about. I want to hear your thoughts on like the advancement in gaming and just like kind of, you know, where we are from being able to being in a place where you had to have your console on all night to where we are now, where pretty much things auto save and like.
Yeah, it's amazing. You don't have to save after everything. I remember, like, that takes me back to Pokemon, where you go to a gym, you know, the first time fighting the first few gyms, you know, you always save it before you do that gym battle, because if you lose, you die, and you got to restart from God knows wherever you saved it last. There's no telling, so if you didn't save it before that gym battle, you're pretty much screwed.
All right, yeah. And then also... you're talking about the grind on Pokemon, and this is kind of a topic that has come up on my show a little bit, and that I've discussed with other people. You know, some people have a feeling that video games are kind of a little too grindy now, as opposed to how they were. Where do you stand on that?
I agree. I mean, there's a game that I play a lot now, and it's called Apex, and I feel like that game's kind of like that sense. I mean, there's not really anything to grind for other than, you know, ranked, and it's just purely a grind. You have so many like high skilled players you're going against, and it really is a grind to try to level up efficiently. I mean, it can take hours and hours, and I don't always enjoy it, but a game like that, it makes it not so bad. And then when it comes to the classics, obviously Pokemon, I'll grind that. I got the new one on the Switch, and I'll grind that out. Sometimes, you know, you might have to go catch 100 of the same Pokemon without one failed catch, you know, to get a shiny version of it. And that comes back to that original, like, save before you go there kind of deal. You catch 10 Pokemon, save the game. You know, just in case that 11th throw you don't get that catch, you can turn it off, and then you know you're already 10 in. So, I mean, it can be grindy, but games like that, it's fun to me, you know. I don't mind it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just from the games that I play, I feel like the grind has gotten, I don't know that it's gotten worse, but I feel like there's almost, in a lot of video games, there's nothing to play for.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Like,
I mean, even with Pokemon, I feel like they did kind of make it easier to do things, to catch Pokemon, to level up. I remember, like, you know, if you wanted to get an experience share, you could only use that on one. Now it's just part of the game, you know. Every Pokemon in your party automatically gets shared experience, whether you use them or not. And that's just not how it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even Call of Duty is just so sweaty for no reason.
Right, right. That's how Apex is. It's super sweaty game, and that's why when it comes to Call of Duty, I don't really enjoy multiplayer anymore. And if I do, I'm gonna go all out and I play Nuketown 24/7. That's really the only
Right.
multiplayer I play is hardcore Nuketown 24/7 or zombies. I'm obsessed with zombies. I always have been.
Yeah. So now let's get back into your story. Let's kind of segue back into your story. So
Okay.
we were talking about the GameCube, talking about how great the GameCube was. So why don't you tell us what console you got after the GameCube?
Let's see. After GameCube would have been probably PS2 era.
Okay.
Um,
Which to me is
yeah,
the GOAT console, but I'll let you
definitely.
tell me. I'll let you
But it
tell
was
me.
definitely PS2. I remember there's this game, and obviously, for those who don't know, in the chat, I am a twin, so co-op games were a big part of my childhood. We always liked to play things together, and there was this game on PlayStation 2 called Cookies and Cream, where you're these two little bunny rabbits. One's named Cookie, and the other one's name is Cream, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to go through these levels, and they're like puzzles, and every single level that you go through to get through one portion, your teammate on the other side of the screen, this was just split screen right down the middle. Your teammate has to go through a certain little, test, and they have to hit like a button or something to activate the next platform for you to walk,
Right.
and vice versa. And that's how you get through these levels. So
Right.
that was one of my favorite games. And then I remember the first multiplayer game I ever played was Killzone. It was
Mm.
an online game, and that sparked my interest, obviously, in online games, and it was over from there.
uh, ooh, we're getting busy right now. Um, so after PlayStation 2, you kind of talked about it, and I've kind of already mentioned some of my fave PlayStation 2 games. I was more into like the sports games. I kind of didn't get into like FPSs or anything like that. Minus James Bond games. I had James Bond games for PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about N64. We didn't even touch
Yeah,
that. I mean, N64 is a totally different obsession for me. I still have one to this day. I got the Pokemon edition, obviously. That obsession is there.
right,
And, GoldenEye is one of my favorite games to play. The original Smash Bros., Mario Party,
right.
Mario Kart, Super Mario 64, which reminds me for my Switch, I just bought the anniversary edition. It's got Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii.
Mm.
And that's I've been playing Super Mario 64. That's just a game I know in and out. I've played it so many times. It's just like second nature to just run through it and kill stuff.
Yeah, I still have my 64 too. Like well, not the original one I have. I had to go out and get a new one, just because like I've been totally into collecting games. So um, I've been stockpiling up on all the games that I played.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm a very avid video game collector. Some might say I have a problem.
It's not a. You tell them it's not a problem. It's a solution.
Right, you're right. It's an addiction. Leave me alone.
Right. Could be doing plenty of other things. That I'm
Right. At
not
least I'm
doing.
not doing drugs.
uh, so yeah, N64 obviously classic. PS2 classic. What was your next console after PS2?
After PS2 would have been the original Xbox. Uh, and then, that's when I started getting into competitive playing. And, at a very young age, I was playing Halo. And
Yeah.
I kind of got obsessed with that for a while. And that was like my go-to first-person shooter game.
Right.
Is Halo, Halo, Halo all day long. Then Halo 2 came out, and it basically just made the experience of Halo better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Um,
And that set me off to a totally different world, joining clans and going against other clans, and I started learning to exploit the game at a very young age. Finding spots you could jump into, and little secrets of the game that the developers didn't intend to put there, but they were there. So being a 12-year-old kid that I was, I'm doing all these like crazy things, bouncing with grenades and getting into spots that you definitely shouldn't be. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah. I guess, because I wasn't really into Halo on 360. I didn't get into Halo on 360 until like much later, I want to say.
Right.
Like later in its cycle, like maybe 3 or 4. Still sport.
Halo 3 is when I pretty much stopped playing Halo. I became obsessed with Call of Duty. After that,
Yeah.
that was another thing. When it comes to like all these console games, Call of Duty it's been a go-to title for me in gaming since I was as long as I can remember.
Right.
I just remember sitting up for hours with even my dad, my brother, just playing Call of Duty. Going through the campaign, that was always the best part. Before multiplayer was super prevalent in Call of Duty, it was always about the campaign, and it was just always so fun.
Yeah. That's I guess it's kind of changed, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, they really focus on multiplayer, which I don't think is the best anymore. There's too many cheaters. That's another thing. You had talked about like the advancements of gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like cheaters advance too, which kind of ruins it for the people who actually enjoy these things.
Right. And that's another subject that I think we can touch on and talk about. Just how do you feel the space of Call of Duty is from where you started to where it is now? Because I know that
it's not the same. It's not enjoyable for me anymore. I mean, obviously, zombies is pretty simple.
Yeah. And
probably pretty easy to keep simple and not ruin like they have in the past.
Yeah.
But as for multiplayer, I just feel like it's just so sweaty. It's hard to enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to being competitive and playing it, it's hard to keep a group together, dedicated enough to want to play with each other.
Right,
That's another big thing for me is I really don't enjoy playing games by myself, And a lot of people might say like, what do you mean? You play games every day. There's no way you always have somebody. Well, 90% of the time I do. I have somebody to play with, whether it's my brother or my cousins or one of my friends, I usually always have somebody to play with.
Yeah.
And that's a huge part of gaming for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it should be a multiplayer thing. It should be like, I don't want to just be some guy sitting in my basement playing video games by myself.
Yeah.
It's boring to me. It's just not fun. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah. I definitely enjoy playing video games with other people as well. I think the online experience is kind of what makes video gaming now so special. Thanks for the revive.
I got you.
I think that's kind of what makes video games so special, and it's kind of hard now, and that we're kind of jumping interview questions a little bit, but it just ties in. That was kind of the purpose of me creating my channel, and what I'm trying to do is kind of build that community. And you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I'll have you talk about it a little bit more. Do you feel like it's harder now to make friends online when you're gaming and different things like that, as opposed to how it was?
Yes, because for one, it's an age thing, and I'm approaching 28 pretty quickly here, and there's not many people my age who think video games are important like I do. A lot of people see it as just a form of relaxation or a waste of time. I don't feel that way. I really do love video games, and I don't see them as a waste of my time or energy. It's something I enjoy doing, whether it's to relax, after a long day, or just to play because I wanna fucking play some video games,
Yeah. Leave me. Let me die. Yeah. I mean, I agree. You should have let me die. Just let me die. Let me die.
Oh, my brother says you can't hear me. You can't hear me. Look, my mic is working fine. Can't hear you at all.
That's odd.
You should be able to hear me.
Little technical difficulty. I'll check on
I know my mic's working. I can see it moving.
Yeah, I can hear you on my end as well.
What was your next console after PS2? After PS2 would have.
Yeah, you're coming through on my side of the stream.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird.
But go ahead, continue. Let's try the new one out.
Yeah. So yeah, man, and that was part of the reason that I created my channel. Is I'm trying to build my channel, my show. I do a lot of work for both games. A lot of work, but yeah, it's the reason I created my show is because I'm trying to build a community of people who can, one, come see your interview, say, this guy's cool, Headshock is cool, I'd love to play video games with him, how do I reach out to him and play video games with him? So that was one of the reasons, is to kind of build that, that community aspect. And, it's hard when you're just like, when you first pick up and you just join someone's lobby to have a conversation where someone can get to know you like this, and I feel like this is kind of bridging that gap.
Right. So and then there's the other aspect where, like I said, I play Apex right now. That's like currently my favorite game. It's just a battle royale type game. People say it's like Fortnite. It's not really like Fortnite. Other than being a battle royale, it's nothing like Fortnite. But anyways, I've piqued a lot of people's interest in that game. Because I stream it. I stream it almost every day. So a lot of my family actually is like, teach me how to play the game. Teach me how to play the game, and I'll always jump on that opportunity because right now they might not be the greatest, but if they keep playing and they do enjoy the game, they're going to be good, and then I'm guaranteed a good teammate,
Right.
Somebody that at least listens and knows how I play, so you can never go wrong there.
Never, ever go wrong there. Yeah, man, that's good. And that's kind of the idea, and I love to hear that because, we need to spread around. I feel like there's a lot of gamers out here that are looking for someone to play with them. So I think we need to spread that wealth around. So getting back to your gaming story, so we did 360. We talked about Halo. Any other like memorable games on 360 you want to shout out?
360 would have been Gauntlet, the Gauntlet series. There was actually 2 on original Xbox. That were super prevalent. Those are team-based games. I don't know if you've ever played the arcade version of Gauntlet. They actually had it so you could play with 4 players on this tiny little arcade system. And it's just a fun game. You got 4 different fighter class, warrior class, magic or whatever. Like a wizard class, like a dwarf, whatever. You choose your 4 classes, and then it's just like you kind of go through these levels and you clear waves, and you got to do it together. That was like an early team game for me, and they had that on 360, and that was just a phenomenal game. That was another game I spent hours on. I really did love that game, and I really wish they would do a new version for the Xbox, the new series.
Yeah.
But I don't see them doing it. I don't know why they won't, but I wish they would.
So I have a little bit of a different backstory than you on the gaming. So I didn't play a lot of co-op games. So me and my best friend, who I interviewed, you are my newest interview, but he was my last interview.
Okay.
So we used to compete against each other all the time. So 360 is kind of like when we, our competitive side really got ramped up, and so we would play games. We would play 2K against each other. I think I got Street Fighter, and he quit playing Street Fighter because we played that against each other.
Yeah, I played a lot of the fighters too. Yeah. I will say I played a lot of the Mortal Kombats. I've played almost every single Mortal Kombat that ever came out. All the Street Fighter games. I actually had at one point in high school we had the Marvel vs. Capcom full size arcade system that my dad had bought from a friend or traded him for a TV or something. And,
right.
Me and my brother being eager to play, we lugged this big giant machine down in the basement, and it was just awesome. Marvel vs. Capcom. I think it was 2 or 3. It was so amazing to have this full size arcade system in the basement. And we learned all the little tricks and how to beat it fast, and up to difficulty, and
Right.
it was a cool experience.
Yeah, no, man, that's sick. That's awesome. So I can see the love was developed from a very early age.
Right, right. I'm a gamer, through and through, and that stems from my father. Like my dad's a huge gamer, and we've spent hours, just playing games together, and to this day we'll still play Call of Duty together. I mean, he still games, not as much as we did when I was younger, but.
Right.
He still has an Xbox. He still always has the current gen consoles.
Yeah.
So that's a cool thing. That I really do enjoy doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope, man. That's really dope. It's a family thing. It's in the family business.
Right. Right. And then even with my cousins, like they all play. So shout out to my cousin Nunu, my cousin Donovan. Like they're two people I play with a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Whether it's Apex with Nunu or Call of Duty with Donovan, that's like our thing. Is this Call of Duty here, Cold War? Me and Donovan play quite often.
Yeah. So, kind of just bringing it up because you're talking about your cousins and your brothers. So how we know each other. I'll let you tell the story of how we know each other, and then if there
funny
is any
story here,
background
chat. You're gonna hear a side of me that you probably didn't really think you would ever hear. I made the decision my senior year of high school to join the football team. Obviously, now I regret that decision being so late in my high school life because I absolutely loved it. But I actually met Manny here, or Emmanuel, but we know him as Manny. On the field, and then the locker room. It was my first year, so it was just an awesome experience. We played football together. He knew my cousins; they were in the same grade as him. Especially my cousin Nunu, he played with him.
Yeah. We actually played the same position. Me and Nunu played the same position, so.
Right.
We spent a lot of time
So our family is basically the same family because that team really, for me, it felt like a family. Like I only played one short year, but. Man, it was one of the greatest years of my life. I seriously regret that my dad didn't force me to play like he wanted me to. When I was a freshman, he's like, "You're joining a football team." I'm like, "Hell no, I'm a skater, bro. I'm a skateboarder. I skate. I don't play football. What do you think this is?" All right, follow me. So, I regret that decision, but I'm still happy that I even got to experience it for the short time I did.
Yeah.
Here, follow me up here. We're gonna go somewhere else.
All right. Yeah, I remember that year too, and that was a great year. That was my junior year. You were a year ahead of me.
Yep.
That was my junior year, and that was actually my first year at the school that we went to. So,
right.
I transferred from Cass Tech in Detroit to Kennedy.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
I went to Cass first.
Hey, let's hit this teleporter. Yeah, I did not know that. Wow. But you were on varsity, right? Yeah, you made varsity.
I made varsity the first year I was there, yeah.
That was pretty amazing. I do remember that. I mean, given we had, 21 solid guys.
Yeah, but they still stocked there were still juniors on the...
But we had a very small varsity team. Very, very small. Very close-knit. Coach O was just throwing us all in there. Adam, you gotta go play. Jake just broke his fingers. You gotta go play nose guard. Okay.
Yeah, that was
all right.
That was a great time.
It really was. It really was one of the most cherished memories I have is playing football at JFK. We weren't the best, but we also weren't the worst.
No,
and we weren't the team that lost to LP. Let's just put that out there on the internet, so you guys know.
Neither one of us lost to Lincoln Park. Yeah. So that's kind of how we met in
Go to the teleporter.
Those were definitely some good years, and I miss having that group and that camaraderie that we had because we were very tight knit, and it's not like it's kind of segued into gaming. Everybody on the football team has their own backstory. Like Adam, who started his first year, or me transferring, or just different people, and we all weren't the same. Like everybody's into different things,
Right.
and it was kind of a microcosm of like, because you know how high school is, you know, it's everybody's in groups or they're clicked up or something like that. It was the only place where you could bridge.
Yeah. I
you could
didn't really
bridge
have a
the
clique. That was the cool thing about high school for me is like I kind of, obviously I did run track.
Mhm.
I ran it in 8th grade and then I ran it in 11th, 12th grade. And that was one of the biggest things for me is like I knew everybody. Like I didn't have one clique. I mean, I had my group that I regularly chilled with, but like I talked to everybody, the jocks, the geeks, whatever you want to call them. They weren't
Right.
that to me. They were just my friends.
Yeah,
Everybody was my friend. It was cool.
and
I love that part of high school.
that was a that was kind of a shock to me when I got to Kennedy because Cass was not that way at all. Um,
Very clicky.
yeah, it was very clicky, and I at Kennedy I could blend into different worlds. I could do theater, I could run track, I could play football. It
Yep.
was kind of different. You could blend into
That's
different
that's how
worlds.
me and Bowie met too. He was a substitute teacher, and he's like, "Yo, you interested in film and drama? I get some art projects that I don't know maybe you'd be interested in." I started from there, painting and doing other little jobs for him, and then it kind of segued into, why don't you just come here yourself? Why do you need to just come here to draw and paint and stuff? Just join film and drama.
Right.
I was like, okay, you know,
He was pretty
I'll do it.
convincing back then. I don't want to give that to him now. He says it's already big. He doesn't need that.
No, he doesn't. Definitely doesn't. Head is already big and shiny enough.
Yeah. So, kind of getting back to the video gaming. So we've gotten to 360. So what was your next console after that?
So after 360 would have been probably. I mean, I went through all the Nintendo consoles. Nintendo is just like it's always been there for me, and I always played the Mario games. I always played the Pokemon games. But the next main console for me would obviously been the Xbox One, which is what I'm currently playing. But not the newest gen, which is the Series X. I got the Xbox One X.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's just a nice console. I mean, I've always been a console player, and obviously, the amount of money I've invested into games and the console itself, I could have bought a PC a long time ago, but I wasn't raised like a lot of my friends playing PC every day and wanting to build these insane machines. It was for me, it was just like consoles were the thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Xbox
Same.
One would have been the next one, and the main game I played when the Xbox One came out was Destiny, the very first Destiny D1.
Mm. So talk about Destiny.
Destiny, it was like they bridged the gap for many video game worlds. It was like Call of Duty, Halo, and like I don't know, it was like 3-4 games put together to make this like awesome, like futuristic. It was just a great game. I really enjoyed it. It was made by the original creators of Halo, so that was another big thing. It was a Bungie game, and to this day, it still remains a Bungie game. Bungie does still produce and manufacture the game, but it just gotten to a point where there's just so much going on. It's just a crazy game to get into. But I would definitely recommend it to anyone, looking for a kind of a role play style game. It was like, Skyrim, Call of Duty, and Halo all had some kind of weird love child.
Yeah, man. So
And those were like my main titles, so it's like,
Okay.
oh, why wouldn't I do this?
yeah, that's true. Those are facts. So you're on Xbox One now. Are you going to next gen? And if so, what console?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll be getting the new Xbox, but
Okay.
I
Series
also,
S
like
or
I said,
X?
I'm a collector, so I do own a PlayStation 1, I do own a PlayStation 2, I have a PlayStation 4. So the plan is get a PlayStation 5, get the new Xbox first, then get my PS5 and
Okay.
go from there. I want them all. I want to collect them all. And that's that Pokemon, side of me.
Right.
Gotta catch them all. I gotta collect all of them.
So you're gonna get the Series S or Series X first?
I'm gonna get the X. I like the disc consoles. There's something about a disc for me, and the hardware alone is it's better.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. So I'm getting I have a PlayStation 5 on the way, and the main reason I made the switch to PS5 because I've been an Xbox guy for the last two generations is because of the console exclusives that PlayStation have. I mean, the exclusives that they have are just crazy.
The exclusives are, and that's a big part of it for me. Is Spider-Man. Like that's my favorite Marvel hero. So like it's exclusive to PlayStation. Well, I gotta play that, so I gotta get a PS4, and I got the Pro. So that's a game I enjoy. Is the Spider-Man game that came out for the PS4. It's a phenomenal game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing that when my PS5 gets here.
See, I'm very jealous of that because before I get another console, I'm for one gonna let the price go down a little bit, and then for two, I want to build another computer. I want two computers. I have a pretty awesome gaming computer.
Okay.
But I want one to handle all the streaming.
So you wanna, since you're talking about your gaming PC, I'll let you shout out if you want to. I don't make people put their specs out there, but if you want to share some of your specs, just in case someone is interested in building a PC and knowing what you have.
Well, for one, I got the 2070 Super graphics card. It's just amazing. I mean, they got the 2080. There's not really much difference there. And then they got the 3000 series that just came out, but I'm not really super eager to upgrade because it has everything really that I need already,
Yeah.
And, possibly I will upgrade that in the future, but, other than that, I don't really know much about computers. Like I said, I've always been a console gamer, so, to me, it's just a really badass console.
Right.
I know a lot of people will probably cringe hearing that, but that's how I feel about it. It's just a really nice console. It's all in a box. I got it. I didn't buy it pre-built, but I had it pre-built for me. I picked out all the parts. And I had a guy I found on Facebook. He's been building computers for like 30 years, and he built it for me. Gave me some advice, and I kind of told him what I was looking for and what I wanted to be able to do, and he pretty much took care of all that for me. So that was kind of cool. I love it. It's been doing me pretty well, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm a console guy at heart. I have a PC too. That was donated to me, so I didn't even build it.
Oh wow!
By my wife's brother. So that's kind of how I started in PC. But yeah, I'm definitely a console guy, and I've never put a PC together in my life. But it's really, I agree with you. The PC guys aren't gonna like it's a really dumb console statement, but it is. It's just like a console. To me, it's a console on steroids.
Right. PC is. I'll put that out there too, internet. Like PC is the master race. Basically, a console is a very small computer, but for somebody who grew up with consoles, it's the opposite way around. It's a more convenient computer.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I'm trying to think because there's one more thing I want to touch on.
Obviously, when it comes to consoles, I have the Switch now.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. I mean, you can download all the original games. Super Mario, where I started, the original Super Nintendo version. I got that on there, so that's cool. And then they got all kinds of crazy hacks for the computer that I've been wanting to get into, and kind of test your abilities and what you can do, because it's kind of a repetitive game in a way. There's a lot of the same stuff going on, just over and over and over and over and over. Yeah. So
you're definitely carrying me right now.
So when it comes to Nintendo, they're always innovating. They never really cared about graphics so much as they did gameplay. Gameplay was a lot more important for Nintendo than being this crazy like high fidelity like game. And that didn't really matter to them. So
Yeah.
that was pretty awesome. That's a big reason why I'll always be a Nintendo fan. And me being the Pokemon obsessed fanatic that I am, I do have the Pokemon Edition Switch as well. So
You got
it's
it
got
all, man. I'm
Pikachu
gonna have
and
to come
Eevee on
visit
it,
you.
which I absolutely love.
You got it all. I'm gonna have to come visit you. So
Yeah, I am a collector. Like I said, I'm an avid collector.
um, I'll since we kind of got your gaming backstory, got to know you a little bit as far as gaming. Um, let's talk about, because we're dual live streaming on your channel as well. So I kind of want to talk about what inspired your channel, and when what got you really into streaming and just kind of taking that next step to try to entertain people with your gameplay and kind of put your passion in a different direction.
Well, for me, what I tell a lot of people is like I don't consider myself some kind of video game prodigy. I'm a gamer. As simple as that. I'm a gamer. I've been doing it my whole life, and I play games every day. So why not stream it? Why not show the world that I can actually do some stuff. I can have fun. I laugh a lot. I crack a lot of jokes. I have a good time.
Right.
And it's just for the sake of video games. Simple as that. Like, just to enjoy myself playing some video games. And, sometimes it can be frustrating and hard to enjoy it. You might have a bad day.
Yeah.
And I just kind of power through that, and I try to, show people that they can do the same thing, You don't have to be some kind of video game god to be a streamer. I mean, a lot of these people playing Apex have, like, insane amounts of kills and insane amounts of times played. Like, it's crazy to me how much time these people invest into being this like godlike streamer, and I give them props because there are a lot of cool streamers that even I watch. But for me, it's not about that. It's not about just being this world class #1 player of this game or that game. It's just about having fun.
Right.
And I want people to, enjoy being on viewing, and they have a good time just watching,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that for sure. So if, there was one thing that you could say to kind of draw people to your channel and like, I guess your elevator pitch for why they should watch you stream, what would that be?
If I could tell them anything to make them come and watch, I would say if you want to see somebody who doesn't take video games so serious, and somebody who tries to enjoy themselves and tries to, build some kind of camaraderie and get people into gaming and helping new players and teaching people things. Wow, it won't let me revive you.
No,
You're
it's
dead.
okay. It's okay. Go. Get out of there.
But yeah, I like to have a good time, so I want others to enjoy it too. So a lot of times people might ask if they can play with me. Well, I like to play with followers and family and friends, and that's gaming to me, is enjoying games together. It's not just about being by myself and running this and running that. I really don't like solo queuing, which is like a really terrible thing to do for a ranked match. You should never play ranked without a team, but sometimes it's just what it is.
Yeah.
You don't always get a team, so sometimes you just gotta muscle through it. And I would say to anybody who's interested in games, like, just find something you like. Everybody's got interest. There's a game for everybody. You don't have to play Call of Duty. You don't have to play You don't have to play a shooter game at all.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of games. Role-play games. There's 8-bit games. You can play any old school retro game on your computer, and it's really easy to play because the games are so small.
Yeah.
So come check out some stuff. I'm a multi-streamer. I play all kinds of things. If there's something you want to see me play, shoot me a message and I'll check it out. I'm down to play new games. I'm down to play with people. I'm down to teach people. So that's a big thing about my channel is all the lost ones out there, the people who don't know where they fit in when it comes to games, who have a hard time enjoying themselves because it's just, it becomes this stressful, like, oh, am I good enough to play it? Well, you can play anything. You don't have to be good enough to play this or that or whatever,
Right.
Play whatever. Play what makes you happy, and that's what I do.
Sweet, man. I feel like that's a good elevator pitch to get people to tune in, and I'll be making sure that I shout you out and give you some proper
Appreciate
attention.
that.
So, kind of moving into the next segment of my interview. Next segment of my interview. I like to kind of talk about what's happening in the gaming world and get you kind of discussing that. So, the first thing I want to talk about is, I guess, microtransaction related. So, how do you feel? How do you feel microtransactions have affected?
It's ruined video games. It's absolutely destroyed the integrity of most video games. Not all of them, but most. I will say most video games are absolutely ruined because of my microtransactions. That whole pay-to-play concept, it's
Right.
just terrible. It really is bad.
Why do you think? Because we're playing Call of Duty. I'd be down to get some Nuketown 24/7 hardcore into,
I
but
was just about to ask.
um, we're playing Call of Duty. Why do you think it is that people buy so many microtransactions? Because they're saying this game is selling pretty well. They're doing really well on the microtransaction front.
And don't get me wrong, too. That's I am guilty for falling for these microtransactions just because I want the skin or I want, But
yeah, let it out. Tell the truth.
to me, they're not focusing on the games enough. You still have, like, for Call of Duty, for instance, it takes 20 minutes for the game to load up. I mean, what is the problem here? You have millions of dollars you've made off of people buying this special gun skin. Like, they have entire menus now where you can get all these crazy things. The Battle Pass, I think, is a cool idea. It's $10.
Yeah.
You earn stuff as you go. That's pretty good trade-off for me. But when it comes to, people getting these crazy skins, just because they want to spend an extra additional $20 in coins on this one skin pack that comes with 3 skins and 2 banners or whatever it might be, it's just like, man, that's a waste of money. And what are you doing with this money? Because it's not fixing the game.
Yeah.
Your servers are still trash. You're still cheaters. Like, what are you focusing on? I mean, for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Microtransactions are bad for games for sure. But like I said, I'm guilty of it. Apex is a game where I like to have fancy skins. Call of Duty, not so much, but I do enjoy buying the Battle Pass.
Yeah.
But Apex, I mean, I spend way too much money on that game, and it's just because I want my character that I specialize in. Her name is Watson. There's many characters, but she's kind of an electric type. I like Pikachu, obviously, but and she's always got a cool skin. So I'm like, I need it. I need it,
Right.
but I don't need it. It's just all this misconception that you need it, and that the developers have put into the game with these microtransactions. Kind of ruined it, but it is what it is. I've accepted it.
Yeah. I've accepted it, but it still sucks.
It really does.
I feel like and the meme of, and I know you've seen this meme. The meme of how video games used to be. It's a burger. You got everything used to come on it. There was no DLC. There was no battle pass.
Right.
None of that. It's like, here's your hamburger. Here's the whole game we made. Enjoy it. Now
they're taking the lettuce, tomato, and onions off.
No,
they're
you don't even get the burger patty. Here are the buns.
Right.
Because
they're still charging you full price for the burger patty, and now you got to buy the lettuce, tomatoes, and onions, and the ketchup separately,
right?
All separately. So,
and
you get screwed in the end.
Yeah, we're the beta testers for a lot of games now. The games don't even come out finished with what we do get.
Yeah, look at the Cyberpunk. I mean, what a joke there. I mean, truly, that is very sad. I mean, why even drop a game if it's not ready for console? I get it. People are like, oh, buy it on PC. It's better. It's better. It's better. Now everybody has like $1,200 to invest into a computer. I mean, it's an investment. You don't want to spend $800 on a computer because it's not going to be able to run a lot of these big titles.
Yeah.
The graphics are on a totally different level, and like a little computer is going to have a hard time running it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to them releasing it on console not ready, it's like consoles only do what they say they do. They don't do anything more or anything less. So like, what do you expect us to do? I just spent $60 on your game. Now you want me to buy a battle pass. Now you want me to buy all these extra crates and stuff like this. The game is still unfinished.
Yeah.
It's to this day they're still having problems with it. It's just like, it's embarrassing. It really is.
Yeah. 100% embarrassing. And like, my biggest thing is like, we give them $60 every year for yada yada game.
Call of Duty twice a year.
Yeah, like the fact that they can't, and they've got 3 studios working on this. It's I get that
Right.
Treyarch had to tap in for Raven this year or whatever, and I get that. I'm not gonna be rude or mean about that, but like at the same time, it's like you guys are still charging us full price.
Right.
Like,
give me a $20 game. Like, for one, that's where I give Apex a little leeway. It's a free game,
Yeah.
I understand that, but it's like, all right, well, the game's been out for 2 years now, and microtransactions have always been a part of it. So like, it's owned partially by EA. Where's the server of that? Where's the control at? They don't have any grip on any part of that game. When it comes to competitive, there's so many cheaters. Skill-based matchmaking it's honestly a joke. There's just so many problems with it, and it's like, all right, I understand it was a free game, but that was like 2 years ago. It's time to fix something, and it's still the same thing. You still get all these lag issues, and you'll be in the middle of a game, you have 10 kills, and like, that's not easy to do on a battle royale game. So for me to just lag out before the game's over, it's like, it's frustrating.
Yeah. We live in a complex. Gaming has changed so much, I want to say, and it's just we are getting destroyed.
We're not gonna be too bad. We just gotta get B.
Yeah, it's getting over there. They're just becoming a problem. We're in a complex place, man, with gaming. I feel like, and I feel like there are so many gamers, and it's boomed and swooned so much just with getting an Xbox.
Upstairs in yellow. God damn it, dude! I cannot even walk out.
And I keep getting team killed too. Like, jeez. These
one on B.
Yeah, dead. He's camping it down. I'm gonna take a different route.
Yeah, gaming is definitely a very complex ideology, like, without a doubt. It's come so far in such a short period of time where it's almost like every game is an innovator in its own way,
Yeah.
A lot of games do steal a lot of concepts from each other, but it's like inevitably they're still doing it their own way. So like, everything changes daily. There's always something new in the video game world, and when it comes to like the future of video games, for me it's virtual reality and augmented reality.
So that's where you think it's gonna go?
That's what I really think it's gonna be. It's gonna be, it's gonna move to mostly VR. I believe most consoles are gonna get phased out, and there'll be more of a computer. And then it'll go to augmented reality, which is like, our actual life. We put on a pair of glasses. They might be Xbox One glass. It's going to be something like that. And you put it on, and you can play Call of Duty IRL.
Yeah.
You can join up with your friends at the park, 40 deep, and play 20 versus 20. You can have special events like that. I think that would be awesome. I really do think that would be phenomenal. Yeah. For me, at least. That's, to me, what I would like to see out of the future of gaming.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, like, I teeter on the idea of Jesus, they're camping so hard. I teeter on the idea of augmented reality and reality
VR and
yeah,
shit.
VR and stuff like. I know people who have VR. I play VR. I don't know if it's like as enjoyable as like playing on a console or anything like that. But my mind may be open. My mind has been open to many of different and new things.
Right.
So I don't want to say like, oh, I'll never do that, because that might not be true. Yeah, but it's interesting. And so then this leads me to another topic that I talk about with gaming.
Getting spanked though.
A lot of people feel the gaming community has gotten worse. Just the community in general, interactions with different people. And you kind of touched on this, where you were talking about, everybody wants to be like a god tier gamer now, and different communities are toxic. I don't know about the Apex community just because I don't play Apex that much, but I feel like Call of Duty isn't as toxic as it was.
No, I really thought that at first too, but it is. I've joined many games, and somebody's clan tag is BLDM, and I'm like, what does that mean? And they're like, Black Lives Don't Matter, and I'm just like, what? Like, are you really that lame?
Yeah.
In life, where you think that's funny?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I will bully somebody. I will bully them until they leave the game, because that's not acceptable in any way. So, like, for them to even have friends that think that that's funny, that's toxic.
Yeah.
And that's Call of Duty in a nutshell. And I see that so many times on this game, where it's actually kind of embarrassing. For them, at least. I mean,
right.
They should be embarrassed. I mean, but they are. These people, they enjoy being toxic. They think it's funny. They think it's it's a good time. It's a joke, whatever. It's not. And I will bully these guys until they either leave the game or they run out of dumb things to respond.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like
That's one thing I've seen on Cold War, like
What
big
the
time.
fuck,
It's just like
bro?
people with these god awful clan tags.
Yeah.
Borderline, racist bullshit.
Do you feel that
It is.
gaming in
It
general
really
is
is
more
fucked
toxic than
I feel like it's always going to be toxic.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just part of Call of Duty, and it's come to a point where either the developers got to make a change and and ban things like that, or ban the players altogether. And they do that, they lose 50% of their player base, and they're not going to.
Yeah.
They're just gonna be like, oh well, we can't control what somebody puts as their clan tag, blah blah blah.
Right.
We don't know what that means. We don't know what if that's what it actually means. But like in reality, it's very clear.
Yeah.
And people saying racial slurs, that's just another thing that's just like, oh, why,
Camper.
bro? Like, it's 2021. Like, grow up.
Yeah.
Who are your parents?
Yeah. It's
That's one of the biggest problems I've had with Call of Duty is a lot of closeted racist like remarks and slurs. My cousins, they're black, so like they're my blood cousins. So if I'm in a Call of Duty match and somebody says some shit off side of their head, I'm going at them. There's no chill for me at that point. I'm angry. I will have a terrible game. I will die 50 times just to stand in the corner and talk shit to somebody.
Yeah.
Because they think it's funny or they think it's cool. Whatever. I don't really know what people's intentions are anymore. It's just like, I don't know. They just do it. It's just part of their life to be a bigot, to be a loser, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people are like that. Is Apex? Do you think the Apex community is like that?
Apex community is toxic in a different way. For me, it's like, I've in so many Apex groups, to share and my stream and whatnot, and a lot of people are like complaining about teammates and solo dropping. Like they drop to a game, and it's teams of 3, but one guy might just take off. So like that's toxic. Like it's a multiplayer game. Why are you by yourself? You should not be by yourself. And they don't. A lot of people find it that okay, and that's where a lot of that toxicity and those arguments come from. Is people arguing about that, and it's just like. It's just a game, man. Chill, please.
Yeah.
You're sucking out the fun for me. Like it's hard to enjoy the game when people are arguing about such trivial things. Like, and then another thing is like, just like people bashing new players. Like I see that so much, and they're like, "Oh, well, you don't have 10,000 kills. You're garbage. You're trash. Your KD's not a 1.0. Wow." Or it is a 1.0, and that's still not good enough,
Yeah.
To me, if you got a 1.0 KD in any game, that's positive and that's good. I think you're doing pretty good. If you can maintain a 1.0, do it. It's better than being negative. But if you do have a negative KD, big deal. What is it doing for your actual life? What is this game changing about your everyday life? Nothing.
Yeah.
There's no importance to what you do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So, and that's a lot of the toxicity in Apex is right there. It's just like people bashing new players, and that's like the biggest thing I see. But other than that, like there's a huge community with Apex, and a lot of the people are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You do run into your racist here and there, but that's just any game. I've seen it on many different games.
Yeah. So can you talk about just the gaming community, I guess, as a whole? Because that's kind of a
Gamers by nature are toxic. I mean,
yeah.
I hate to say
necessarily
it.
the
I've met a lot of good people, but I've
Mhm.
met a lot of shitty people gaming. And that's the sorry truth. I mean, there's people out there who, for one, I'm not saying you should care about somebody's opinion of yourself, but you should be considerate. You should care